guys, welcome back. I am so excited for the video today. It is the kitchen tour. I have my favorite organizing tools right beside me. I'm gonna go through them really quickly. And the first one that I wanted to talk about is this cutting board organizer, and it's the cheapest organizer of all time. This is my favorite organizer because you can put so many things in here. It's nice and heavy and weighted so it doesn't move around. There's some that mount to the bottom of the cabinet, but this one, I'm in an apartment, so I can't be drilling too many things into the wall. And so on that note, I have my second favorite kitchen product organizer, and that's these clear hooks. I use Command strips everywhere in my house. Downsize your pan lids to only the essential, which for me is only 3. And then therefore you can keep them all on the doors. And so I really recommend these. Get them on Amazon because if you buy them in Target, you're gonna spend way more money than you need to. My third most favorite organizer is this plate organizer, and there's different kinds of plate organizers. I have 2 different types in my own house, and I use this corner one for my saucepans. There is so much vertical space and you want to double the space so you can have little plates, big plates. Make use of your vertical space. That's the #1 tip when organizing the kitchen, is space is limited. So the 2 things you have to do is pare down. #1, you have to pare down to only the essential. The kitchen has so much room for decluttering because we have great ideas of all the things we want to do, and then we never get around to using most of the products, collecting dust and taking up lots of space. So it's better just to stick with what works. And speaking of what works, this works. So I've used this in every kitchen I've ever organized. I will use this. The last organizer that I really swear by is this Octopop. My #1 tip is to declutter first and then organize, or you'll waste a lot of money. Do you really want to be baking at home all the time? And if you do want to be baking, like I still like to bake because it's kind of therapeutic, but limit yourself to only a few things. So for instance, the only things I can bake at home right now is cookies and muffins. And so you can really pare down your Octopops so that you only need a couple, and I think I only use about 10 right now. So these are my favorite organizers because they just look so great. They're easy to open. They're not dishwasher safe, being the main con. But to me, it's totally worth it because how often are you going to wash your containers? You just really wipe the outside when it gets sticky. So this is my last organizer. You can see straight through to the dining area. So it's not especially big, but it's pretty roomy for an apartment. Here on the fridge door, you can see that I have all my favorite recipes. I have a whole video on just how to organize the fridge and the 10 condiment challenge, so don't forget to check out that video. As you can see right here, I do not keep anything on the counter if I can help it. I really like these 3 shelves that I got off Amazon where I keep my pepper, salt, and oil. And all of these things can be found in the description bar. But I really like keeping those 3 things handy. I like keeping it off the counter because the counter gets a lot of splatters and it encourages me to keep the counter clean at all times. In this first drawer here, you can see I just have a basic organizer. I keep this little clear nub thing that I got off Amazon. I put these all over the house when I don't want things to move. So when I close the drawer, it doesn't move. And so if you want to keep things from sliding around, you need to get those, and you can use them for anything, or even if you're closing drawers and you don't want them to slam, you can use them that way. I keep my extra water filter back there. In this second drawer, I keep all of my kitchen utensils, and if you want a list of what I keep in here, you can visit my blog. But basically I have duplicates, so I have 2 tongs, 2 spatulas, and 3 spoons because I use the same type of tools again and again. Down here I have 2 organizers, which is a plate organizer and my #1 kitchen organizer, which I recommend everybody should have. There's so many uses for this particular organizer and it's so affordable. And I have the cooling rack also next to my cookie sheet. I keep it here so it doesn't crowd out the oven area, but anything that's tall and skinny you basically want to keep here. On the back there's nothing because not only is it hard to reach, but I just don't like having things that I don't use all the time. So if you have lots of people in your house and you need a lot more space, then you'll always find a lot of space if you're a minimalist. And here we have the big bowl. I use it to catch trash while I'm cooking. And then colander. Right on the door you can see I use those clear Command strips, and so then the hooks keep up my lids. And I really like that solution. I use it for all of my pot lids. I keep the bare minimum amount of pot lids possible. Down here I just keep a baking pan and a muffin tin, which you can do a lot with a muffin tin. I plan to also get a roasting pan. I lost my last roasting pan in the move. So this is really the essential for me. Under here you can see again I use the hooks to keep the pot lids up. So easy to put the pot lids away. And then my 2 pots. I only own 2 pots and it's more than enough. I think I can get away with 1 pot now because I rarely cook pasta. Since I use the crock pot all the time, 2 pots is more than enough for me. Next to the stove, The last drawer is full of odds and ends, things like extra towels. This is really great. It's a can saver. So if you have a half a can, there's still stuff in there, you just pop it on top and put it in the fridge. My flour food and my spoon rest. Up here is my toaster, measuring cups, water bottle, and also vase behind there. Right next door is my nonstick, my saucepans, and my scale. You can see here that I've doubled the space with these plate organizers. I really recommend them. I have my Mighty magnet holding up a clam chowder recipe, so I can see the recipe and it still won't fall down because it's an extremely strong magnet. There I have on the side of the fridge the recipes that I'll be cooking this week, and above there that's hard to reach is basically guest supplies. Moving on to the right side of the kitchen, I have my rice, which I use all the time, my cups, backup teas I keep all the way at the top over there, and any decor that I'm going to use in the kitchen I'm going to keep in this area. And that's because I don't want to keep too much decor or else it'll be really hard to clean. The kitchen can get so dirty that I try to keep it as bare as possible and just use a little bit of color with the accents that I pick. And sometimes I keep the crock pot underneath with the rest of the crock pot, but a lot of times it's a lot easier to grab if I keep it on top of the microwave. If I could mount the microwave, I would underneath, but unfortunately I can't because it's a rental. And I have this really skinny knife block that I love. Since I'm a minimalist, I have very few knives, and that's more than enough for that area, so I really recommend that knife block if you're looking to streamline your kitchen. I really like keeping the aloe plant above like that because it holds the curtain open. I just like keeping the brush in the sun so it cleans it. I'm really thinking of getting one of those mounting soap dispensers for right there, and so that's really the last thing I have to do to this kitchen. In here I have plates, bowls, little cutting boards. I always have a lot of little cutting boards. I have a baking sheet, which I rarely use, and there's nothing on the top over there, but what would be great for on top is if you have a little non-stick for eggs or something like that. And then I keep my gallon ziploc baggies there because they're so easy to access. I have a whole in-depth pantry tour video, so go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. But there are a few things that I really wanted to show you quickly. And the first thing is that I use a hook right here to hold up this mesh strainer, and I only use one. I got rid of the little one because I just don't keep things in a set anymore unless I absolutely need to. And right here I have put Command strips in the back of this. This is a Kleenex soft tissue pack, and I thought, what am I going to do with these? These are so cute. I don't want to get rid of them, so I'm using up the blue one right now, and I'm going to put a blue one right here. So in here I have the quart baggies, and right here I'll have the sandwich baggies in the blue one. But basically I just used Command Velcro strips and put it on there so it's easy to access. So I really recommend that idea. I'm such a sucker for trying new things, and then I don't know what to do with it when it's too cute and I don't want to get rid of it. Hi, pet. My cat's on my table. What a bad cat. And then over here I just have magnetic boards that I keep my cheat sheet recipe cards, so lots of soups and everything. I just condense everything onto one recipe card. So it's like a cheat sheet. I can just open it really quickly, the door, and see something really quickly. My grocery list and my magnetic clips. In here I just keep mugs and little old-fashioned glasses that I really like to use. I love those clear glasses. So feel free to use your drawers to keep mugs and teas. I used to have an elaborate tea organizer that I'll link down below if you use a lot of teas, but I've cut back on my teas. I only drink 1 or 2 types of tea, so it's just not necessary anymore. Under there I just keep my Vitamix basically and straws. Last but not least, underneath the kitchen sink, I use more Command hooks. Can you believe it? So I have 3 of them down here, and this first brush I use kind of as a scraper. So if something gets stuck to your floor, or something gets stuck in the sink or something like that, or stuck on the counter because you waited too long to clean something, this clear brush is amazing. And then I have this over the door cabinet organizer in which I keep all of my dish pods. I have been using these dish pods for years now. They're unscented. I get them off Amazon. And then I have the magic erasers. So the dish brush above right there is only for dishes. And this one is a lot harder. It's not as malleable as the one at the top, and so I use it for the drains only. And then I have my watering pot for all my plants right there, also on another clear hook. And then this was already built into the apartment, which was great, but I just keep one brush. I used to have backup of everything, and now I never keep backup. I just have one brush and one all-purpose spray. And then over there I have baking soda. I was looking for a container with holes and I just couldn't find one. I bought 3 tennis balls and I emptied the container and poked holes on the top and filled it with baking soda. But I try to keep things as bare as possible. If you keep a lot of things underneath this area here, you'll want to get a clear liner from the container store and lay it down there so that it's very easy to wipe out. So here I have my blue pot holders, which I should have put on a clear hook, but funny enough, that's actually a real nail. And then over here I have more blue, because that's my personal favorite color. I just want to give you one last overview before I close all of the drawers, but this is how I organize my minimalist kitchen. And I really could stand to pare down by about half, but I do like to cook a lot. Don't forget to check out the description box if any of these products you want to get for yourself. I will see you guys next Sunday. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you got some new ideas to implement in your own kitchen.